He is a Bassmaster Open winner. He is a 4-time Bassmaster Classic Qualifier. He has legions of fans that are perpetually on him. A man more slick than an ugly stick. Matt Robertson joins me this week on...
I'm Bob Cobb from the Bassmaster. Welcome to Mercer.
Welcome one, welcome all, friends, family, freeloaders, fishing freaks. You're all welcome here at the Awkwardly Honest Fishing Podcast that goes by my last name, which is Mercer. Happy Hump Day, happy Wednesday. I welcome in all my humpers that tune in here week after week. Can't thank you enough for all the support you show this show, except for there's a few of you that really had a lot to say to me last week in comments about how the Chiefs were gonna suck and Burrowhead was going to be owned by Joe Burrow, which was a ridiculous statement to begin with. And as I told you all at the time, I said that's why they play the games. And speaking of games, that was a freaking emotional roller coaster. Amazing rivalry. I mean, in the last four times we've played them, a game has never been decided by more than 3 points. And it's not over. This was just another battle. I'm sure we will be battling for years and years to come. How the Chiefs won that game, unbelievable. Because there's always an excuse with Mahomes. That's what I'm certain of. You know, for whatever reason, he's one of those people that people just don't want to see win. Everybody loves to hate a winner, I guess. I don't know. That's what I write it off to. But in the past, it was always like, well, he's got Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. He's not really that good. Well, this time around, in that second half, man, he had Travis Kelce, which was covered up with, 3 people guarding him. You had nobody else. I mean, our receivers the injuries that went down through that game, we had receivers that didn't go to Penn State. We had receivers that went to Penn. We had 7th rounders doing the work, and they pulled off the victory. And listen, I've been on the internet. I've heard it all. The officials, the officials in the NFL suck. Officials in general suck. I think it's time to revisit that. I mean, we live in a time and age where you can put a chip in the ball and know exactly how far it travels. We don't need to bring out 2 sticks and chains to measure anymore. So don't get me wrong. I am not defending the officials. I think the officials here's a startling fact that I didn't know. Did you know that NFL officials aren't even full-time? Which is mind-boggling when you think of the millions, if not billions of dollars that ride on these games. So there was calls made wrong on both ends of things. If you think that last unsportsmanlike call was wrong, then you haven't watched the NFL in the last 2 years, because Mahomes was 2 steps out and he hit him. That's a penalty all day long. A horrible time to get a penalty. And if you don't think that, go back and watch the footage. I watched it. I mean, you can see the Bengals players reacting before a flag's even thrown, like, what did you do? So anyways, every one of those games comes down to, a kick. That's how it all ends. And I'm just thankful that this time, for the first time in, the last few times we've played them, they had our number the last 3 times, but thankfully the Chiefs won it this time. Love them, hate them, whatever you want to say. We are going back to the freaking Super Bowl. It's just another battle in our story, because we will battle that incredible Bengals team again. We will battle Joe Burrow again. That's the cool thing about being an NFL fan for any of these teams right now. The future is bright, and it's a very, very exciting time. So congratulations to the Bengals. And as I said to all of you trash talking me, that is why they play the games, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter. I mean, the Buffalo Bills were winning the Super Bowl for the last 4 months. That's why they play the games. Speaking of playing games, we have a freaking giant game ahead, the biggest game in football, the Super Bowl, coming up in 2 weeks' time. And thank God we have 2 weeks, because the Chiefs need to heal. But what a Super Bowl we have. We have the Kelce Brothers Bowl, both Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce of the Eagles, the first two brothers ever to play against each other in the Super Bowl. So, and speaking of the Kelce brothers, if you do not listen to their podcast, you need to. I believe it is the #1 rated sports podcast in the world right now. It is very real. It's very open. It's very honest. It's everything I love about podcasts. And this week's show is going to be incredible because they're both going to talk about winning the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship. And I'm sure there'll be a little trash talk involved. I mean, it's so real that earlier this season, Jason Kelce had to walk off the set during one of them. I mean, they do it via Zoom video, kind of like this podcast is done, but Travis kind of held him to the mat on a mistake that was made. And Jason got so mad, you just see him like walk off, and they had to record it the next day. But they left it in there, which I love because they're real and they're honest. And that's why it's the #1 podcast in sports right now. So check that out. Another cool story going into the Super Bowl. Andy Reid, who coached for the Eagles for 14 years, has to take out Philadelphia or try to take out Philadelphia, which is going to be no easy task. And it's going to be nearly impossible if the Chiefs do not heal. So if you are cheering for the Chiefs, get some prayers out there for them to heal, because I looked at the injury report in the Eagles, and I think they have one player injured, and I think we have one player healthy right now. So, it's going to be a fun few weeks, and can't wait to see that game go down. To the gentleman that posted, I don't give a F about football, talk about fishing. Sorry. I'm only going to talk a little bit, but that's also why they have the, if you hit fast forward, you can get past the football talk, and we'll get right into the fishing, and we're going to get into some big time fishing talk. But before we do, how about those Chiefs? Sorry, I had to throw it out there. A big guest this week, and a guy who always speaks his mind, and a guy who a lot of you have asked to have back on the show. We had him on about a year ago, but so much has happened in his life in a year. And I asked him to do this show, but I asked him I said, dude, I want to have a real conversation. I don't want to put anything, any limits on it. Let's just have a real conversation about some highlights and some lowlights that have happened throughout the past year with him. And he agreed. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope to expose maybe the wrong word to use with Matt Robertson, because he sometimes exposes too much. But I hope to expose a side of Matt that many of you might not have seen, because, it is so easy to just do a podcast with him and say, go. I mean, he is like a chatty Cathy doll that pulls his own cord. He will just tell story after story in pure hilarity, which is awesome. But I wanted to get behind all of that craziness and just kind of see how his mind works, and if he's been affected by any of the things that have been a little different for him this past year. So without further ado, let's head to, I'm not sure the name of the trailer park. I should find out the name of the trailer park, but let's call it Sunnyvale, just because there's a famous trailer park called that in Kentucky. Matt Robertson. This might be the lettuce is looking strong this morning. Are you feeling strong, Matt?
I mean, I don't know if I'm feeling strong, but I know I just woke up. The lettuce up top is a little scraggly and whatnot. I got a few cowlicks. But yeah, we're looking good as always, Dave.
It's good to see you. I mean, we haven't talked a lot in the off season. I mean, some and not for any particular reason, but have you been busy? What have you been doing?
Yeah, buddy. I've been pretty busy, other than a few days pouring the it's part of the driveway, 600-foot driveway, man. I've been pulling a whole John Daly on them. I've drank way too much tequila. And yeah, I've been going hard at it, buddy. Been going hard.
So how are you drinking tequila and losing weight at the same time?
I'm working out every day, eating right, and then I go full bore with it in the evenings. And yeah, dude, I've been partying in Key West, South Carolina, Nashville. Got me a new honey in Nashville. Been partying down there some. I mean, seriously, we've been going hard at it, and yeah, not giving a shit.
So what transition are you going to have to go through? Like, do you plan on partying right through the season, or is off-season party time and you got to show up for work in a couple of weeks?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of in a dilemma here. The last couple of years, we always done our share of partying on the road, but not too bad. It's always on the off days, but we don't have all those this year, so I'm kind of disappointed. But back in the day, me and Wendell, listen, guaranteed, if me and him went out partying the night before a tournament, we won every tournament. I remember, buddy. One night, me and Wendell went down to the Legion, and his first nights I ever did Jello shots in my life. We're down there having a good time, drinking a little. He's like, "You want a Jello shot?" I said, "I've never had one." He's like, "We need some Jello shots." Tried one. I was like, stuck with buddy. I'm a pro at it too. You never seen somebody suck down a Jello shot like me. Stick my tongue in that little plastic cup, twist it, and suck that Jello down like that. And I was like, "Damn, that's good." He's like, "We need 100 Jello shots." I'm like, "God dang, Wendell, I was like, oh." He's like, "It'll be fine." I sat there and eat about 30 or 40 of them things. I'm not joking. I didn't know what to do to you. Next thing you know, a guy named Squirrel drove me home 2 o'clock in the morning. I slept 2 hours, and Wendell comes over. We hook up the boat and everything, and make it about a mile down the road. My alternator goes out on my truck. His dad has to come trade his truck out with my truck. We go fish a big tournament down here at the lake, and won $5,000 that day. I don't know how, but we did.
Well, how did Buddy get his name? Do you have a lot of friends named
Squirrel?
after rodents?
No, I did. I was like, "Hey," I told him, I said, "I need somebody to drive me home." Wendell, he says, "Squirrel drive you home." I was like, "What are you talking about? Who is Squirrel?" He looked like a squirrel, little skinny guy, big gray mustache.
Got you home safe.
Legion, Central City, Kentucky.
Okay, I need to be upfront, and there you go. That's more recognizable with the
I look
on
better now.
There's a lot of people that probably watch a conversation like this or see some of the stuff that you do, and they say, "Well, this is an act. He's not really like that." What do you have to say to those people?
For the right amount of money, you can come party with me anytime.
So, not partying on the road this year, or what are you drinking there?
Well, this is kind of embarrassing. I'm saying this girl, I guess she's my girlfriend down in Nashville.
Okay.
She's a dietitian and everything. And can't believe I'm saying this. I'm drinking coffee through a straw now. I've been hanging around the highfalutin kind of type, the fancy people. Now, buddy, I've lost so much pride in the past month and a half. You have no idea. I'm drinking coffee through a straw. I went and got a Brazilian wax. I mean,
is that real? Like was that by her request or something you always wanted? I don't.
Kind of by her request.
Okay.
Not that.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not a hairy guy. Okay. That being said, I'm not a hairy guy. But let me tell you something. I got waxed. I got the Brazilian. God almighty, son. You ain't never, listen, I've had a lot of pain in my life. I've never felt pain like that. And it wasn't really the hair tearing part. It was the hot wax. Oh my God. That felt like molten lava going through you in certain places, buddy.
So is this something you were going to continue to do, or was that a one-time one and done?
I'll be honest with you. At the moment, I thought I'm never doing this again, but like, I know like women go through some pain getting waxed, but I got to tell you, it's quite refreshing.
Painful to be beautiful.
It is, but I think I will continue to be beautiful.
Why the straw in the coffee? I've never seen a lot of people drinking through a straw for coffee. Why?
I'm gonna catch some flack for that one. I don't know. I guess so your teeth don't get yellow from the coffee. It's the only thing is what I'm told, but I'm not really worried about that. I'll be honest with you. For some reason, it tastes better through a straw. Anybody who's drinking coffee, sipping it, and fucking gonna give me crap over it, suck it through a straw and tell me if it don't taste better.
All right. Well, I've never done it, but I'll think about that. So season heading up, what goes through your mind? Like, I'll be honest, I've done a lot of podcasts with a lot of different Elite Series pros, tournament pros. And this time of year, most of them are like in their boat, locked in. You literally just woke up.
Mm-hmm.
When does the prep start for you?
I started getting a little bit of stuff together the other day, kind of got the boat loaded up some, and I got some of these big Plano bins to put my stuff in for the truck because the boys were giving me crap because I had about 40 Walmart bags back there, and I've been going through all these Walmart bags trying to find stuff, and then I'd be borrowing stuff. And I think Seth got a little aggravated me borrowing everything because I couldn't find it in my truck last year. But so I'm a little more organized this year, which I'll probably catch less fish because I'm organized. But yeah, I kind of got things dialed up, ready to go. And I just got back from Miami Sunday for a little hiatus down there. And yeah, I come back and we're in Nashville yesterday. I'm like, I forgot where my boat was, Dave. I was like, hell, I got to go to Renegade Marine up in Litchfield to get my boat before I can leave. So I had to hightail it up there. Got there at 5 o'clock yesterday evening. My buddy Sherbert waited on me. Got it, came home, and on the way home, my mom's like, oh, you need to be careful of the weather. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, ice all over the roads, snow and ice. And I'm like, God dang, man, I'm supposed to leave tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing right now. We're just kind of winging it. I got to load the truck up today in the ice out there. It's freezing ice cold. But hey, a lot of people don't realize this is about par for the course.
Have you always been that way?
Yeah, pretty much. People just don't even realize it.
No, it's shocking when you hang out. You live with some of the most technical pros on tour. Seth does it. People look at Seth and they don't know, but there's nobody who spends more time tying a knot, rigging a bait. And it must boggle their mind how you compete against them.
No, yeah, 100%. The boys I run with, everybody knows they're the most technical guys in the world. Like, from not tying if it ain't perfect, like everything's gonna be perfect. And I'm just kind of like, this rod will work for this. Oh, I don't have 10-pound fluorocarbon. I'll use 15-pound mono, and we'll roll with it and catch them.
Do you not think that puts you at a disadvantage at the level you're competing at?
No. It hasn't yet, I don't think.
No, last year was your best season, a breakout season, I'd say, especially in Angler of the Year points.
Yeah.
So what do you work on when you leave a season like last year? You want it to continue to get better. I know you're driven. You're all about the wood, as you've said before.
Oh.
What do you work on to improve?
Honestly, in the off season, I just, as far as the finish and going into this year and wanting to keep it going, I really don't give a shit. I think that's the key, is not caring. Like I don't think he'll mind me talking about it, but I think Seth had a little bit of a rough start last year too. And I think, so he come off that AOY, best season ever, and he cared too much. And dude, I'm telling you, like me and him's talked about so many times, you got to not care, And that it's like not care about doing it. It's not that you don't care. So you got to not care about doing bad. You just let the cards fall where they do. And yeah, dude, you keep going fishing. You keep the rust off. Fixing to leave for Florida, knock the rest of the rust off this week. But yeah, you just got to honestly not give a crap and just go do it and let the cards fall how they do.
Does that get tougher I mean, it's easy to say that when you're catching them, but let's say you start off this season and have a rough start. Does it get tougher to care less in that situation as the pressure builds?
Um, I would say, yeah. I mean, it kind of does, but I'll be honest with you. Like, I kind of perform under pressure. Like I've always fishing my whole life. I've been trying to pay bills or do something like that with it, and honestly think that I perform better under pressure. Than like if everything's hunky dory and there's no pressure in my life, I don't feel like I fish as well. Like I feel like there's got to be some type of chaos going on.
So
Like last year, first 3 tournaments, it was crap. You know that. Like it was like I was sucking. All right. Well, there's a little bit of pressure. Let's yeah. So then we start performing.
but how did you change that? I know I remember we talked about it quite a bit on stage.
Yeah.
You're like, I just went fishing and whatever, but there had to be more to it than just deciding to be better.
I kind of got pissed off at the world. I'd been losing some fish and whatnot, and should have had good tournaments, but just you know how stuff goes. Everybody does. And I come home and I got pissed off at them, and yeah, I'm serious. I feel sorry for the fish on Kentucky Lake because I broke their jaws. Like I was so mad at them, I almost filleted them. Like I almost stuck a knife to them and ate some big smallmouths and stuff, but yeah, I just started swinging on them hard, man, get some redemption. And yeah, it's kind of like you just decide that it's not going to happen anymore. And you just go out there and just make that happen.
So you don't care, but you're also all about the wood. So
yeah. You got to not care about, you care about doing good, but you got to be at peace with them if you do bad in your decision making. Like if you do bad, it can't. You got to be okay with that, basically.
it's hard to even think. I mean, I get what you're saying because you're not the first pro I've heard it from. Like that that's also why I think you see pros on their way out. You know what I mean? And I don't want to throw him under the bus, but Chris Groves, a prime example. You know, his last event, he top 10s it, and it's just like, well, where was this? But to get there, you had to be where he was. You know what I mean? It was his final event. Yeah. He knew the requalification probably wasn't going to work out, but he didn't care, and he just wanted to finish the way he knows he can fish. How hard is it to be that guy?
Let me tell you something about Chris Grove. He would find fish. Like he had a rough couple last years, like whenever I was running with him. And but I'll tell you this about him. That dude would find fish faster than any of us, but faster than Seth, finding faster Chris, Corey, or me. Like we'd get pictures and a text of these big ones, and I ain't even caught a daggone fish. And he's got 20 pounds. Like he'd find them so fast. I think he couldn't. I wish he could have harnessed that not caring part, because he cared. Chris has a big heart.
Yeah.
Big caring heart. And I love him to death, but he just needed to not care a little bit. He knows that.
Yeah. And I mean, and I don't have a problem talking about it because I know Chris knows that we all care about him, but I also feel like he built a lot of that on himself. You know what I mean? It was always about the chain rats, the people behind him, and that's all pressure. Do you feel any of that kind of pressure?
No, dude. I don't feel that kind of pressure. I don't give a crap. Like, I've been doing this long enough. It's like I tell people, you know, I've been catching bass for 25 years now. I've been fishing tournaments since I was 11. I've been catching bass for 25 years, and that ain't about to change. I'm going to keep on catching them, dude. Like, ain't nothing changing for 25 years. It ain't about to now.
So how did it become fishing in your life? You know what I mean? Like, how did fishing become the obsession that's driven you in this direction? Because is it just your entire life you've felt a connection to fishing? Yeah,
dude, it's all I've ever done. Like, I was good at other sports, and they wanted me to play other sports, but other sports always got in the way of fishing, and I never would let anything conflict with it. I mean, I missed my high school graduation to go fish a damn BFL out of Paris on Kentucky Lake. I mean, and yeah, my mom was like, well, if you're not going to your graduation, I'm at least going to this tournament with you. So she rode down there and stayed in the hotel with me and all this, made a big weekend out of it. But yeah, man, it's fishing's been number one since the beginning.
So you were born, like you grew up, like you lived in San Diego for a little while, right?
Yeah. I was born in San Diego. I lived there till I was 9 or 10. And my family's military. My granddad is in the military, and we moved back to Kentucky or whatnot. My dad still lives in San Diego there, and so every once in a while, I'll make a trip out there and do a little fishing out there. I wish the fishing out there is still as good as it used to be, but yeah, that's where I got that long blonde hair from San Diego, and I moved here, and I ended up picking up this accent somehow. I don't even know how, but yeah.
So you started fishing tournaments at 11. Was there ever a thought of doing anything else, like, or was it in your head? Did you always assume you would make it?
No, man. Like, I'll be honest with you. I was so concentrated on working at a younger age that, I didn't have the money to make it. I was fishing locally, and hell, I was working. There was years whenever I was working 2 jobs. Like, I was working 2 full-time machinist jobs. I'd get up, be at work at 6 in the morning, get off at 2:30, be at another job at 3:30, and work till 11:30. Like, it wasn't. I'd work between 80 and 100 hours a week. And a lot of people think, oh, you wasn't working 100 hours a week. No, you're right. Sometimes I worked 110, and like, you don't believe me. Like, we can go to work together. You can't hang. And so I was doing a lot of working, and then I built up some money, and I was fishing tournaments at Kentucky Lake in between, and yeah, man, I was making enough money locally that it would have been. I've ended up getting a job down here by Kentucky Lake right here in Calvert City, and I was working 6 to 2:30. 40 hours a week. That's almost unheard of as a machinist. And dude, I was making enough money fishing locally that it'd have been stupid. Dude, I was making on a bad year. I'm not talking about winning 30,000 and not making money. I'm talking about I was making 30 to 90 grand a year fishing. Like, we'd win a couple boats, and I won 54 grand in 30 weeks one time here on Kentucky Lake. Won everything, every big tournament on the lake for 30 weeks and won 54 grand. I'm like, dude, why would you leave that? But the carp got in the lake, the fishing got crappy, the tournaments left. And yeah, I wanted to make it. I was fishing some Bass Nation stuff, to try to make it. But the tournaments left, the money left, and I was contemplating. I talked to a few people, and I thought, man, if I'm ever going to try this, this is the time. And it was after I qualified for the Classic through the Bass Nation Team Trail. So I thought, man, there ain't no money to fish for here anymore. It's like, let's give it a shot. So that's whenever we jumped in the opens. And yeah, 2 years qualified, and here we are, boys, still living in the trailer. And yeah.
You ever think that'll change? You ever think you'll move out of the trailer?
I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm doing a little upgrading to the trailer the first week of March. I got a good friend and sponsor, the wood shop in Anderson, South Carolina. They do custom cabinets and install them all over the country. They're based out of Anderson, South Carolina. And they do custom cabinets from Key West all the way to Maine. And he's fixing to come in here. We're going to make a video doing it. And it's going to be quite comical. But he's going to put me a set of custom cabinets in my trailer. And we're going to this place, we're going to revamp it. A lot of work already been done to it. And hey, man, this summer I'm gonna start Airbnb in my trailer while I'm gone. So you want to come stay at Matt Robertson's trailer? Everybody's heard about it and everything. This summer it's gonna be ready.
Are you gonna have I would imagine you have to have some locking cabinets I mean, you can't let people stay and have full range in your house. I'm sure there's some drawers you don't want opened.
I mean, there'll be one cabinet locked and one closet. So everything else is free range, man.
Wow. And what is that? Just a
You want to sleep
additional
in my
income?
bed, Dave? You want to come sleep in my bed?
I don't know. I mean, it's not an initial goal, but a lot of people seem to end up there.
If you put a request in, I won't even wash the sheets for you.
How did you avoid the initial trap to conform? Like, if you look at all pros that come along, and even Seth, when Seth first showed up on the Elite Series, Seth was, I believe, and I think Seth would admit this, he was trying to be what he thought the industry wanted him to be. And the more he became himself, but you never went through that. Like, from the day I met you, dude, you're you. Like, this is you.
I'll tell you the difference between me and Seth. I've been fired too many times for being myself. I done been through the ringer. I've been fired half a dozen times from jobs, half of it for fishing, half of it for my mouth. And I think everybody can believe all that. And yeah, dude, I've just never conformed to nothing my whole life. And like, no offense, I guess I was 34 whenever I qualified for Elite, 33. Wasn't about to change then either.
Did you have any nerves? Like, that first Classic, be honest, walking in that night of champions, dressed the way you were, and literally, people see this crap in movies, but it was like a movie where the entire room was like, what? Was there any part of you that left was like, oh, dang.
You want to know the truth? I'll tell you the truth. There was one moment I was like, what in the hell am I doing? I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what am I doing here doing this? But yeah, it was there's been a moment or two like that, but I like looking good. And don't nobody do it better. You'll see this year too.
Oh, do you have some stuff planned?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Sneak
peek? My good looking little honey's gonna be looking fine. I mean, fine.
I look forward to seeing that. What is your biggest fear in life? Losing your hair?
We was talking about that the other day, man. I don't know. Like, I like the hair and all, and I thought I would shock the world if I cut this. Like, the world would lose it. No, it's not losing hair. I don't know, dude. Like, I don't really. I'm pretty laid back. I don't really worry about much. It's not like I got a big fancy house I'm going to lose or anything. I pretty much got all my bills paid with about $800 a month. I mean, like, I got a real low lifestyle, so I ain't really worried about losing nothing. Like, yeah, dude, I don't really have that. Like, as far as fears, man, I'm scared of heights, scared of falling off. Something ain't never going to jump out of a plane, but I don't have too many fears, man.
I think that's proven. I don't think anybody would argue that there's not much you're fearful of.
I'm kind of fearful that I might take my pants off again on Bass Live because that cost me a pretty penny. But yeah, we'll not. We won't do that again.
Do you regret that?
I gotta tell you, I'll be honest with you. Like, I was sorry for it because. Let me think how to put this. Like, at first I was sorry about it and I apologized about it. But you know what? I'm not sorry for it. I am who I am. I did what I did. I'm not apologizing for it anymore. I know some people didn't like it, but listen, I did the crime. I did my time. I paid the price for it. You know what? I'm not sorry for it. Will it happen again? No, it won't happen again. But I'm done being sorry. I did it. It is what it is. And I'm not sorry for it. Like, it happened. I paid my fines. I did all that crap. Got other punishment for it. That's fine. I did my time. So, yeah, I'm not sorry for it at all. I am who I am. Listen, listen. I'm a lot smarter than what people think I am. Most of my moves are calculated. That was an uncalculated redneck move. Like that was. You want to know who Matt Robertson is? Think I don't go out and party and have a good time? You saw it right there. Uncalculated, hanging out with my boy on the water, and something stupid happened. That's the group I run with. It happens every day, except that time it was on camera. And
no, I don't know that it happens to everybody. I mean, I've done a lot of fishing with a lot of people, but I'll be honest, I don't spend a lot of time in my underwear fishing with people, and especially not when I'm competing in a tournament.
you know, I agree with you, but dude, that's the thing. Like, honestly, I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't even think I'd get in trouble. I was just having a good time cutting it up. Like, hindsight, I probably should have figured I got in trouble, but I didn't. Like, I mean, the only reason it happened is because there's another guy out there in a Speedo, you know, and that was glorified. But I guess whenever you do it yourself, it's not. But yeah, it won't happen again. The line's been drawn. I know where the line is. I won't overstep that boundary. But yeah, whatever it happened, you got to deal with it, right?
But you see the difference between the guy in the Speedo and you, right? Like the guy in the Speedo, I pointed him out from stage. I mean, because it's a bizarre thing, but he's a dude in a Speedo, and you're a dude competing at the top level of professional fishing on a national network. There's a big difference. I mean, they show people at every football game, you see some dude dressed like a fool.
I get it. I thought about it. It'd be the equivalent to somebody on a basketball court taking their pants off. Like, listen, I know I made a mistake, and I'm admitting I made a mistake, but am I sorry for it? No, because shit happens. Like, there ain't a person that'll listen to this. I don't care who it is that ain't made a mistake somewhere in life. So you know what? Like, if that's the worst I do is take my pants off, you know what? So be it.
It's true. Were you shocked by how many anglers got upset about it? Because to be honest, that actually kind of caught me off guard, because for the most part, you guys kind of do your own thing. And a lot of times anglers are disconnected from anything that's going on. They're just so focused on competing. Yeah.
You know, after the reaction of other people, I knew there'd be anglers that was upset about it. Like, and like one angler, you know, made a comment to me, you know, this ain't wrestling. And I'm like, you know what, buddy? All y'all are complaining about how much money you make. If this is half of what wrestling was, maybe all y'all wouldn't be some broke asses complaining about how much you make. I said, if we made half what wrestling made, we all have so much money, we wouldn't know what to do with it. So, like, I mean, don't throw that at me either. You know, like, you know, money sports were one of the most lowest paid sports there is. So maybe that needs to be thought about too, is conforming to certain things that maybe to make more money. So, I mean, but no, listen, I understand. Listen, I don't know if he meant it for me, but I read Gary Klaus's thing on professionalism not long after that on the Bass website. I read that, and I'm going to say Gary Klaus didn't agree with it, and that's okay. Everybody's, you know, entitled to their own opinion. But I like Gary. But either way, like, have your opinion on it, like it or not. Think it hurt you. I've heard people say it hurt them as an angler. There wasn't an angler out there that it hurt. Like, the only thing, if anything, it hurt myself or didn't hurt myself. You know, I mean, the only thing I'd say is maybe it did look bad on Bass, and if it did make it look bad on Bass and somebody there caught some flack, I apologize for that. But crap happens, dude. It just is what it is.
Yeah. And dude, you know, I lean towards the wrestling in the world as quick as anybody out there.
Oh yeah.
And here's the only thing I will say. And when you're a person like yourself and myself and Swindle and different people who do kind of shocking things at times. I mean, that's the tightrope you walk. You know what I mean? It's always funny until it's not funny anymore. You know what I mean? But here's the one thing that has screamed in my head the whole time. And this is out of love to you as a person. Dude, what you did out there, I agree with you. I don't think it set the sport back. And I mean, I think it was one dude did something, and it is what it is. I think it also time of year it happened. It was the end of the year where a lot of people are looking for a reason to be angry. So that didn't help. But here's where it hurts me for you. Dude, you left the dock in second place on Sunday morning. And if you went out and did a poll right now at Bass Pro Shops or wherever you want and said, who was leading or who were the top three going into the final day at Oahe, I bet you nobody picks you just because you overshadowed your accomplishment that you freaking worked your whole life for.
That's okay, dude. I don't care. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me, you know? I mean, it, as bad as I hate to say that, yeah, you know what? You asked them who the top three is in it, and you're right. It overshadowed it. But I mean, like, dude, I told you that's part of me. I haven't given a shit my whole life, and I ain't about to start to now. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you, there's one thing about fishing I've noticed is a lot of anglers in this. They want the glory. They want the glory. Everybody who's not a professional is trying to pretend they're a professional and be all this and that. Dude, I'm going to tell you something. Like, one thing they're trying to be somebody. I don't care about being nobody. I don't care about being famous. I just want to fish. I want to fish and have fun with my boys. And I promise you, Seth don't care about being famous. I don't care about being famous. Chris and Corey don't. We just want to fish, have fun with our boys, and like, whatever, man, as long as I'm there making a living, having fun, entertaining some people, and I like to have a good time. That's what matters to me. If somebody remembers me at Oahe, I don't care. Like, nobody can ever remember me being in second place going in the last day, and I could care less.
Okay, I'll play devil's advocate. You don't care about being famous, but you wear fur coats and smash water bottles together on stage.
I like having fun. I told you, I like having fun, looking good. That's fine. But whenever it comes to like, you're going to pick me out of the Oahe, I don't care about that. But yeah, you know what? You want to have fun? I'll tell you what I think's a disservice is the guys who come out and just wave to the fans, because fans travel from all over the world to watch the Bassmaster Classic, and you're gonna bore them to death with 52 hand waves. So you're welcome.
Dude, you know, I agree with that. I mean, I think that it's a weird, and it's funny because, you know, I use Takumi as an example a lot. I've done it on this show, but I'm like, he's just real. Like, Takumi is also not a character, but he says the same things that a lot of people think. Like, when Takumi took the lead for the first time and he looked at the scales and said, I'm leading, like, I believe that 99% of people, the first time they lead an Elite Series event, that's the first thought that goes through their mind. But somehow from their mind to their heart to their mouth, whatever, what comes out is, yeah, well, I got to catch him again tomorrow, you know, and this is what I do. Is that just, why do you think people are like that?
It's part of that conformity, you know. I mean, because that is in the back of every angler's mind, is you have to catch them the next day. But yeah, like I know a lot of these guys behind the scene now, I've gotten to know a lot of them, and you know, I love most of the people that fish the Elite Series. And yeah, dude, I wish more of them would let their personality shine through, you know. But I think it's just, I mean, honestly, that is going through their head, is they're still worried about catching them the next day. I mean, it's just a simple, it goes through all our heads and it's easy to come out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, no, dude, I appreciate you even talking about that, to be honest, because that's one of the things that drives me crazy in bass fishing, where something happens and everything gets swept under the rug, and people are just like, yeah, let's not talk about that ever. And it's, I mean, like you said, there is not a soul on earth that hasn't done something that they're like, yeah, maybe that was a little too far. I mean, I do it on a freaking daily basis. But too far is kind of where you live. Like, I mean, your whole Onum. I mean, Onum in general, the history of Onum and what that has become. I mean, I remember the first time I saw it, and I was like, that's something that anglers said for years, Onum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you had the balls to walk out with a hat that said Onum.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about the history of that and what it's become for you.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it was just kind of a joke at first, and I started wearing the hat, won like 5 or 6 in a row here locally, and just kept it rolling. It just kind of keeps snowballing, you know. And I can't believe it. I can't believe it's turned into what it's turned into. It's unreal. But it just, like you said, it's something everybody says. And yeah, dude, it's got different hats and stuff coming out slowly but surely expanding the brand. And yeah, dude, I appreciate everybody that wears it. I see them out everywhere, seen them on Alabama football on TV, and I about like guys from JM Productions was sending it to me, and Zona, and just I'm like, what is this? You know, and I was like, that is awesome, really. It really is.
It really is, and it amazes. I mean, dude, the power of your marketing mind. And dude, I know everybody likes to write it off that like he's just Matt, and they hear your accent and some of your stories. But dude, I feel you're an incredible marketer. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you do that some people might not like is also why there's giant lineups to meet you at the Bassmaster Classic. How much of that is mastermind and how much of that is luck?
Man, honestly, like we're going to go with starting out, it was 50-50 because I went to the Classic. I was like, I'm going to look good. So I just wore the fur coat and then the on-them stuff. And just, I think part of it is an appealing personality, just like Gerald Swindle, you know? But I think I have fun doing it. Let's put it that way. Like I think about stuff and to do this or to do that, and like a lot of my moves are calculated, but like the problem is whenever I calculate a move, the math can go a little far because I like to have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say 75-25. It's 75% is calculated, but my personality and I get excited, and then that's the rest of it.
On this very podcast, Gerald Swindle went out of his way to talk about you and how impressed he is with the person that you are, and how quick people have gravitated to you. And I mean, his outlook on it is, I mean, he's long-term. Matt's got a great career ahead of him, and he brings a lot to our sport. Hearing that from somebody like Swindle, which, I mean, he's a buddy and everything, but he's still freaking Gerald Swindle. I mean, he is one of the greatest marketers, greatest personalities this sport has ever had.
Yeah.
What does that make you feel like as a person?
Man, I gotta tell you, like, he didn't, it's not like me and Swindle or talk every day or talk weekly or even monthly. Like, I talk to him whenever I see him, and I like the heck out of him. But he didn't have to say that stuff out about me. He didn't have to go out of his way to do none of that, and I appreciate it. And yeah, man, it makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And yeah, I crossed the line a time or two in the past, but yeah, dude, and but yeah, I'm doing something right. If a man of that caliber is going out of his way to say something like that, I do appreciate him doing that more than he knows.
Yeah, I think that's another thing about you that I think a lot of people, I mean, I don't think you go out of your way to show it to people because it's, I mean, you're a guy, but I think, dude, you got a giant heart. You care. I mean, it's easy to say I don't care, but I think you really do care.
Listen, if you're one of my boys, like my boys know how far. Like, ask Lee Livesey how if I go out of my way for somebody. Like, I'm telling you, if you're one of my boys and fucking Swindle's one of my boys, I will let you. If you get in them, whenever it's your turn, you get in a bind, or even before it's your turn, I went out of my way big time for Lee Livesey and stuck. And I had Lee Livesey's back before we was really good friends like we are, and whenever it's time to have my boys back, there ain't somebody else that step up first. I promise you that. So,
what's your goal in this sport? Do you think long term like that, or I mean, you can't spend your whole life just saying I want to have fun.
Can you? What do you mean, like winning stuff or whatnot?
Yeah.
Or, like I said, dude, I've been catching bass for 25 years. It's about not to stop. It's not about to stop now. I'm gonna win some blue trophies. I plan on winning a classic trophy or two, but you can't force that stuff. So you can set goals and say you're gonna do it, but like you just gotta let it happen. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm here riding the ride, buddy. Like, as long as it lasts, we're gonna ride it, and it's gonna be a fun ride. I ain't gonna force nothing. I want them blue trophies. There will be blue trophies sitting here. I promise you that. I mean, I didn't get. You can say I'm cocky or whatever, but I don't care. Winning's what I've done my whole life, and classic's a hard one to win, but it's like not out of the realm of possibilities. I don't like it. You glorify it, but whenever I'm fishing it, I don't glorify it. I don't get spun out. It's just like I'm fishing a club tournament, and yeah, man, like yeah, it's the goals are to win. I want blue trophies. I want that classic trophy. It'll happen. I'm just not going to force it.
I don't think it's cocky though. Like, I think that's one of the weird things about our sport and the way people talk. And maybe it's just because it's a one-man team. I don't know. But like, if you see any pro sport, pick anyone, whatever one you watch, and you sign the new player in their first press conference, you ask them what their goal is, and they're like, I want to bring a championship to this city. I want to be, and if they don't say that, people are like, well, what's wrong with so-and-so? I mean, earlier this year, Aaron Rodgers said he wants to win more MVPs, and people went absolutely nuts that he didn't say he wants to win more Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And his whole theory was, I can only control what I do, you know, in the situation he was in this year. But why do you think our sport is so soft in that regard? Like, just saying that, you have to apologize. You know what I mean? Just by saying, I really want to win, people might say that's arrogant. Why are we different?
Like I'm the first one to talk trash. I'm not like, I don't care. Like I have 100% confidence in my ability, but I think a lot of guys don't do it because I think it's probably the most superstitious sport there is.
Yeah.
You know, because this sport can humble you and humble a lot of people. And I feel like if they talk that crap, then they think that's going to happen. Like, I mean, whatever. I talk more trash to Austin Felix going into the last day at Oahe than has ever been talked in the history of bass fishing. And you know what? He won. Dave Wendell's telling me, he's like, hey, Austin would catch one on live, and he'd be like, yeah, I got that one. Matty better catch him, you know, something. Or I'm like, dude, that's entertaining. It's fun. Like, we're talking trash to have fun. We're all confident. Like, we ain't the best in the world because we're not. Like, yeah.
It's weird because you think of like if me and you go fun fishing this afternoon, if you and Wendell go fun fishing, it's all trash talk. Like, there is never. Yeah. But then you get to the pro level and guys are just like, they button up. It's like, you know, it's almost, you know, an insult to say you're going to do exactly, you know what I mean? And you should feel that way, or you shouldn't be competing at the top level, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember whenever I won the Bass Nation team trail, and I love John Stewart to death. I really do. And John's known me for a long time. you know, from before I fished Elite Series. And whenever I won that Harris chain, he let me give me a little second for an interview, right? And he was, you know, in front of the crowd, and I said something like, I know these boys don't know who I am, but come March 17th on the Tennessee River, I was like, they're fixing to find out. And he kind of pulled the mic away from me, and I heard him say, he's like, he shouldn't have said that, you know, he didn't like the trash talk. And but I love John Stewart to death. Me and him joke around and have a good time. But yeah, dude, a lot of people, some people don't like the trash talk, but I think it's a superstition thing. But yeah, dude, like I wish there's more of the confidence came out. But honestly, I just think they're scared they're not going to do good instead of just, I think it's they're scared they're going to jinx themselves. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you today, and then you go out there and don't catch them, right? It doesn't look good. It's just like I talked crap to Austin Phillips, and then the last day I had a bad day. Like, you know what? I don't care. Like, I like talking crap. Austin was a champ about it too. Like, I give him that. He was a champ about it. Like, we talked about it afterwards. We had fun with it, both of us. And yeah, dude, it was yeah, it's fun. I don't care if I catch them or not. I'm gonna have a good time doing it, talking crap or, you know, whatever.
Do you have any superstitions yourself?
I got a few. I don't know if I'd call them superstitions as far as what I do or everything, but I got the lucky rocks. I got a lucky hair tie. And so I like to have those things with me. But as far as like doing certain things, not really.
What percentage of Elite Series pros, or even just the guys you hang with, actually have superstitions?
A lot of them. Fighter wears the same underwear every day. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, Chris and Corey don't. They don't have any superstitions.
They're different, aren't they? Like, I mean, the way they think about things and it's literally since they were 9-10 years old, they just think of things so different. Explain.
They were trained by an absolute killer on the water, their dad Lynn, man, and they just nothing superstition. And like, they're two boys that'll tell you they're going to go out there and beat the hell out of you the next day, you know. I mean,
but not on camera. They wouldn't do it on camera.
But like, yeah.
There's a lot of trash talking happens in your household, though. Like when you guys room together, it's steady trash.
All day trash talk. People don't even understand.
It's shocking. Like, it never ends. Like, you think, like, I remember the first few times. I mean, I've known those guys most of my life, but I remember the first few times that I come over to visit you guys, and, you know, it's starting and you're like, yeah, this is just part of their, you know, this will stop. It doesn't stop all day. You guys, and now clearly it's been well publicized. It's gotten physical between everybody. Are you?
Oh yeah.
Are you going to be wrestling this year? Different?
I don't know, man. I hurt my knee a couple months ago, and I hurt my knee running. I couldn't even walk for a day or two, and like that scared me a little bit. And a lot of people don't know this. At the St. Lawrence River last year, me and Caleb got to drinking a little bit, and I'm talking about wrestled. And honestly, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to cast because I hurt my shoulder so bad. And those two times kind of startled me a little bit. Me and Caleb's agreed that we're not going to wrestle each other, but you know how that goes. Let him run that gum a minute.
Have you done some? I know obviously you've been training, losing a bunch of weight, but I did see a video of you and Elite Series rookie Cooper Gallant going at it last year. But what stood out to me, not the finish, but what stood out to me is it looks like you've been doing some training, different techniques were involved.
No, Coop, I'm going to tell you what, Coop is one of the strongest guys I've ever grabbed. Like, he's little, but like, he's stronger than Corey, Chris. Dude, I'm telling you, that kid is strong. I've never seen that out of him either. And especially as little as he is. He is the strongest little guy I've ever grabbed a hold of in my life. And but yeah, dude, my buddy, old real good wrestler, and he been teaching me some stuff. So like that's the problem is I damn hurt my knee. But now I know what I'm doing. Now I know what I'm doing. And I gotta decide. Because I'll tell you this, I guarantee you, the problem with Caleb is I got him in a headlock one time, and he's so strong, he just grabbed my hand and peeled it off of me like I'm doing a fruit roll up. And so, but I guarantee you I can take Caleb down, but I don't think I can beat him because he's too damn strong.
I feel like I'm talking to two little kids. Like, I feel like that, like, I mean, I feel like I've been in the situation that you're explaining, but I was like in grade school where I'm like, okay, this year in school, I'm not going to get in any fights. I'm going to focus. I'm not going to put my, has that been your entire life?
Pretty much.
What about the Bassmaster Classic? What do you plan for on the stage?
We're going to have to keep that one to a minimum. We got a little something planned. I have to consult Bass before I'm going to say it's wise of me to do in the future. So I got to consult the people at Bass, make sure everything's on the up and up. And yeah, we'll let them. I thought they'll be fine with it. It's not nothing too terrible.
What's your thoughts going into this classic? I mean, I got to believe that's somewhere where you have a little experience.
Yeah. I've been on the Tennessee River down there twice. Know it fairly well. Didn't go up there and pre-practice any, just because it's the Tennessee River, you know. I mean, but yeah, I think it's a place we can definitely win at. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one, I believe.
I heard you on another podcast negotiating a neck tattoo. Is said neck tattoo ever going to happen, or like, is that real? Like, would you really?
Okay, so that was on the Big Honker podcast, and yeah, the deal is for $7,000, I'm gonna get a Dollar General tattooed on my neck. So that was the deal. So we get off the podcast. The owner, boss Brandon, and Andy Schaefer, guy on the Big Honker, get on a three-way call 5 minutes after that. And we're talking about it, and Brandon's like, Maddie, I just can't let you do that on your neck. He's like, what if we do? What about somewhere else? And Andy's like, what about a tramp stamp? And I'm like, I'll do a tramp stamp. Brandon's like, all right, you good with tramp stamp? Yeah. Dollar General tramp stamp on, I don't know. I don't care if it's the DG or the square Dollar General. I don't care. $7,000. You show me $7,000. We're sticking Dollar General right above my butt. 100%.
So is it going to happen, or you're just waiting for the $7,000 to show up?
No, it's 100% happening. 100% happening. May happen at the Classic.
Do you not think that you should be focused on other things at the Bassmaster Classic?
I'm selling real estate here, buddy. Show me some money, guys. Show me some money. I'll sell the real estate.
You saved me from becoming a porn star. I think you kind of right. You're right there. You're on both sides of that. Man, I all that's going through my mind is how much money I have to raise to get other tattoos on you.
You raise the money, pick it out, and we'll stick it.
Where's the limit? Is there anything you wouldn't do?
For the right amount of money, no.
Have you approached sponsors with this and said, hey, I got a Bass logo on my arm. Why not an ugly stick?
I would tattoo a jersey on me for the right amount of money. I'm not even joking. I'd stick ugly stick as big as you can on my chest for the right amount of money.
I don't doubt that. Talk to me about that relationship, because I think there's a lot of people who partner with companies, and there's a lot of good things that happen. Some companies aren't, but I think that your relationship with Ugly Stick is incredible, number one. And number two, even more so, the freedom that they have allowed it to be. Because, you know, when you guys were coming out with those videos and stuff, I thought,
Yeah.
oh, this will be corporate bit. It'll be dulled down. But it wasn't. It was Matt.
Yeah, no, it honestly, I don't know if there's a better partnership that, you know, that we just mesh together perfectly because, you know, I am who Ugly Stick, you know, it's just, I'm the people that buy Ugly Sticks, you know, I mean, I'm the working guy and we're regular dudes like to have fun, and they have gave me some freedom. I would give them that. And I appreciate them sticking by my side through a couple incidents, and dude, I love them guys to death up there. I love every one of them up there at Pure Fishing. And yeah, dude, honestly, I don't think there's two an angler and a brand that goes together as well as myself and Ugly Stick. Like we just mesh so well.
What, do you guys have any plan? Like, is there going to be more of those type of commercials coming out, those videos?
Yeah, I think in due time. In due time, there's still one they're working on. I know that hasn't come out, but yeah, in due time, it's gonna. There's more coming for sure.
When you go through something like you said, you know, they stood by you through some stuff. When you go through said stuff, whatever it may be, how busy? Like I've always wondered, you know, how busy is his phone come Monday after the
It's
underwear
usually
incident?
It's usually about Wednesday. I start getting the calls. I think they need a day or two to process some stuff.
Did any of the companies you work with, did any of them give you like a scolding or was it just all?
Yeah. I mean, it was yeah, I got some scoldings, you know. I can take it. Like, and I understand where they're coming from. But it was nice to see him staying by my side, that being said, you know.
You've been doing a lot of running, a lot of working out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you did for fishing, or is it just something you did for you?
Man, probably 7, 8 years ago, I got in pretty phenomenal shape, and then I stopped working out and I got fat again. And I just like, honestly, it's just like something hit me. It's like, dude, like I need to get some, like there was a fishing these 2 weeks in a row that I was seeing an effect in me, you know, whenever we had double events and stuff. And I was just like, it's just simple. I used to run every day. And I was like, so I just start running, working out and eating right. And like if you just decide to make that change and just do it, it's not that big a deal. Like it's not like you're force feeding yourself. I'll put it to you this way. Before I started dating my little lady friend who's a dietitian, she tells me I was eating way too much red meat, but whatever. Dude, you go to McDonald's, you're going to spend $12 to $15, right? If you go to the grocery store, I can eat a filet, a sweet potato, and a green for $12 or $13. Like you can get a nice ribeye and a sweet potato or something like that. You can eat healthy for as cheap or cheaper than you can go out and eat crappy. Like this whole you can eat, it's too expensive to eat healthy is a joke. Like you can eat a steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner cheaper than you can go to McDonald's 3 times. And I was sitting here like, why would I? Oh, sorry, Dave. Something happened. Somebody tried to call me. They got the FU button. And but yeah, dude, I said, why would I eat crappy whenever I can eat a steak for every meal? So yeah, just started eating good food. It tastes better anyways. You know, spend a little time in the gym, go do a little running, and yeah, just kept it going.
Do you think this makes you a better angler, a more dangerous angler this year?
100%. 100%. Me and Palanick was talking about it, and you definitely feel better, fish better, all of the above.
When you brought his name up, but Palanick, and I think of like how cerebral he is and how he thinks things through, and how, I mean, I've always said he's much older. You know what I mean? He's just much wiser at a young age. But then when you look at your approach, from the outside, they look totally different.
Yeah, Brandon's way smarter than me. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but I think he was 18 and I was 20. Or maybe he was 18 and I was 21 or something like that. We both fished the TBF National Championship at Lake Wiley, and was that South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And but we roomed together. Like, he wasn't nobody, I wasn't nobody. Two kids from halfway across country roomed together. We roomed together. He had all his stuff stolen. And Abu Garcia, I didn't have crap at the time. I'm out there on my last $500, right? And he lost all his stuff, shipping it out there, and they gave him rods, reels. I see boxes, like 3 foot by 3 foot boxes of baits, like the room is piled. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, thousands of dollars of stuff. I'm like, hell, I lost my stuff too, guys. And but yeah, man, me and Brandon spent a week together, stayed in the same room together years ago. And he's definitely smarter than me, made it here a lot faster than me. And I think we come from a little different places, nonetheless. He is smart, hardworking dude. And yeah, so you're probably going to take an approach to it, I'd take Brandon's 100% because he made it there a lot faster.
So you wouldn't advise following in your footsteps?
Listen, it depends on where you come from. If you come from nothing, you ain't got no money or nothing, yeah, you better go work 20 hours a day to save up some money to do it, because it's a money sport. I don't know where Brandon came from. I think he had to work hard for what he's got.
Yeah.
Regardless of where he came from, it doesn't matter, because the boy works harder than anybody. You got to have a work ethic. But listen, if you hard-headed like I have been my whole life, then you can take that route. But I'm going to advise everybody to take Brandon's route, because it's a lot easier. Kid's a lot smarter than I am.
A lot smarter than me most days, too. Is that the number one thing it takes to make it on the Elite Series? Work ethic?
100%.
What do you think a common thread nowadays that you'll hear all over social media is, you just got to have money to make the Elite Series. And if you don't have money, you've got no shot. What do you think when you hear stuff like that?
If that was the case, I wouldn't be here. So, like I said, dude, like, if there's guys out there say you got to have money, this or that, to make the Elite Series, yeah, you got to have some money. But it doesn't mean a lot of these guys got houses, have mortgages. Sell the big house, sell your $2,000 mortgage or $1,000 mortgage. Buy you a $4,000 trailer like I did, and like, get rid of your payments, have a truck, a boat, go work people think I'm joking about the 18, 20 hours a day. I wouldn't even leave work. I'd sleep there. And
wow,
go save up that money. And listen, a lot of people don't want to do that. Who wants to go to work for 18 hours a day? Yeah, the state only lets you work 15 or 16, but get 2 jobs, that don't matter. You can work as much as you want. And yeah, dude, it's just, you got to have money, but it's always available. It's just willing if you're willing to make those sacrifices or not. I made those sacrifices. I'm still making them. So
I think you're 100% right. I mean, and I think there's a lot of people who say they want it, but they don't really want it. They want to be that dude standing on the classic stage holding the trophy. They want to be the dude in the magazine or on the TV show. But that's like about this much of your job.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And there's guys that do want it, but it's a small fraction of them that really want it,
If you could change one thing about pro fishing, what would it be?
Man, one thing about pro fishing, I don't know, man. I wish we could have a little more leeway with, I kind of say what I want to say, but let's just call it? No, like, let's not, I don't know. Let's go TVMA on everything and not PG rated. Like I'm telling you, I wish if I could change one thing, it'd be everybody show the real personality.
What percentage of Elite Series pros do you think, and this isn't throwing anyone under the bus, but of the entire field, what percentage do you think the public gets to see the real them?
10%. 100 guys.
Wow.
10 to 15%, I think.
Wow. That's
maybe 20 is the stretch, but Palinek's as real as it gets. Like, you'll know, like, he's as real on and off. Swindle is. Seth is. 100, like 10. It's not more than 20 guys are being who they really are.
You think that's just pressure from sponsors or the industry in general?
No, it's just they're being the stereotypical bass fisherman.
I've often thought it's one of the negatives about, like, when you really sit and look at the sport, that everybody's vanilla, everybody's the same, everybody's good. I think that's one of the, and it's the sport in general, the history of the sport. Like, there's never been a bad guy in bass fishing. And if you look at other sports, what really brings passion to people, like, you can't be a New York Yankees fan without hating the Boston Red Sox. You can't be a Red Sox fan without hating the Yankees, and vice versa. But it doesn't exist in fishing. You know what I mean? It's like, no matter who wins, everybody cheers. Sometimes they cheer a little louder.
The sport would grow if you had that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Is that what you're
I'll
trying
be that for somebody if they want me to be. I have no problem being that guy. You know, like, if it would grow the sport and everything, yeah, I'll be the guy you hate. That's fine.
I don't know that you need to have a guy that you hate, but I think that,
yeah, like you need to
cheer against someone, you know, like, I mean, I'm a huge Chiefs fan, but trust me, I like Joe Burrow. I think he's pretty cool. But this last week, I kind of hated Joe Burrow for a while. And I think that's normal, though, because trust me, there is a whole heck of a lot of people that hate the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes for doing nothing but winning.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's an interesting sport that way. You know, you're right. Nobody says how they really feel they're going to catch them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even ask you guys. Like, I literally do not. The day before a tournament, people are like, I'll get texts from buddies and they're like, who should I pick in fantasy fishing? You've talked to so-and-so. And I'm like, I hardly ask anybody, because, I mean, there's a few guys that I'll talk to socially and I'll say, you know, how's this or that. But for the most part, because I know that everybody the day before a tournament is literally going to lie to me. They're like, look me straight in the eye and be like, I didn't get any. Do you see that changing in the sport? Well, I think the world is changing that way with reality. You know what I mean? Like, I think
they are, but that's not changing in the sport. It's too many variables in our sport. It's not like I'm going to play basketball where I got my hand on a basketball and I got to put it through the hoop. You know, there's too many variables that come in ours, like weather, water, and I mean, all that stuff. But like, there are times whenever you think you're going to catch him, you know, even me being myself, there's times where I'm like, that was a rough practice. And what's crazy is usually some of our worst practices are our best tournaments in this sport. So you got to take that into consideration, you know.
Why is that?
Because you aren't committed to one thing and you're willing to change.
Have you made, like, when you look at your career, and let's just focus on Elite Series since you got here, have you made some big mistakes, like fishing wise? You know, is there anything you look back where you're like, I had to change that when I got here?
I used to go to tournaments. I'm a swim baiter, man. Like, I had to put the big swim baits down. That's what I did on the first year of the Opens. I came in like 34th in points. Wasn't the worst, but wasn't great. But I was like, I have to make an adjustment. I have to pick up regular lures again. Like I would swim bait, swim bait, and swim bait. And especially here locally on Kentucky Lake, one of the best swim bait lakes in the country. And dude, I just had to, pick up the bladed jigs and all that stuff again. And yeah, then that next year, I qualified for the Elite Series.
What's the highlight in your career so far? If you had to pick one.
The highlight in my career is honestly probably what nobody else would say is whenever me, Chris, Corey, Seth, I'll even throw Lee and Caleb in the mix whenever we're sitting around, bullshitting, having a beer and a drink, talking shit to each other. That's my highlight. Whenever the boys are together talking shit.
Hanging with the boys.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that, I think you're just smart to realize that, but I'll do stuff like this all the time and people be like, well, what was the best moment? And it's almost never something that everybody saw. It's almost never that, oh, it was cool announcing this. No, I love my job and I love what I do, but I really just love what it allows me to do or be, you know what I mean? It people get stuck in regular jobs and they find themselves acting adults. I think we found a way to avoid that for as long as possible or as often as possible.
Oh yeah. We're like a bunch of kids playing.
So what's the low light of your career so far?
Honestly, after the third tournament last year, I was like, hell, am I even going to requalify for the elites? Like I had a decent first year and I was like, hey man, I'm like 68th in the points. Like nail biting, you got to fix something.
So how do you, when you felt that low, and I think everybody's got to go through it and dig it out of it, but to feel that low and to continue to be like, like you said, not give a crap, that's got to be incredibly tough.
Yeah, you just got to have confidence in yourself. It's like I said before, like I've been catching bass for 25 years, had 3 bad tournaments. Like ain't nothing changing, boys. I hate to tell you, but I'm going to be around for a while. Like me or love me, whatever. I've been catching bass for 25 years and I hate to bust your bubble. It ain't about to stop now.
What's the dumbest thing you've ever done to catch a bass?
God, honestly, the dumbest thing I've ever done to catch a bass. Well, me and Wendell's fishing one tournament. I stripped down naked and jumped in and swam down there and got one. And then he was complaining for me to put my clothes back on. But man, I don't know. Like I've done that to get a bass, but to catch one, like, I don't know, man. I actually caught one on a flying lure one time on a dock. I mean, one of the old school flying lures, like something like that maybe, but I don't know. I can't think of nothing too stupid I've done to catch one.
Yeah, I really want to ask you what the dumbest thing you've ever done in your life, but I'm pretty sure that you probably can't answer that honestly.
That's not rated for this show. We both know that.
Yes. You're the only, and I've told you this to your face. Like I tell every pro, be yourself, be real, be honest. You're the only dude I've ever said, just maybe a little less rail.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I need to tone her back a little bit because the bass world ain't ready for all of me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think what you've done is amazing. Like I said, when you live the way you do, when you are the person that you are, I mean, it's nothing new. You've always been on a tightrope, and sometimes you slip off that tightrope. And but I mean, dude, I think the more personalities, the more people that we have, that people, identify with. Because let's be honest, it's a dude holding a fish in front of an arena full of people. Like, you got to give somebody a reason to cheer for you. And I think that people identify with you. And even so much that I've kind of underestimated at times. Like when you first told me you were going to do the cutoff shirt at the Classic, I remember thinking, oh, okay, but I didn't realize how much that would resonate with people. Did it shock you how people?
No, because like that's the thing, you see, like everybody else is just regular person and real. They wear cutoffs, they don't care. They get tattoos on their shoulder. They, they like to drink and have fun. And that's the thing, dude, is I'm not pretending to be nothing but just me. And I'm just a regular person, just like everybody else. That's why it resonates with them. They know that. Some people think it's skeptical, but, think it's an act. And then they, what? Come hang out with me a bit. You'll see. Come meet me at the Classic. You'll see real quick that it's, it's whatever, dude. I'm just one of them. I ain't nothing,
You are real. You are real. I've tested. Trust me. He is very, very real. I can assure you. What's the greatest advice you've ever gotten in your life?
Shut my mouth.
Did you listen?
Whenever my granddad told me I would.
What if there's a young angler watching this that one day wants to be in the position you're in? Other than don't follow my lead, follow Brandon Polnick, what advice would you give them?
Shoot, man. Work hard every second of your life. Don't listen to your teachers or nobody else. Do what you want. Even don't listen to your parents or anybody. If it's what you want, work hard, go after it, and the hell with everybody else.
Is there anyone that stands out in your, like, I think everybody there, this industry is full of people that were told you can't do what you're doing by somebody. Is there teachers or somebody that stands out in your mind that was like, grow up?
Oh yeah, 100%. Senior English class, Miss Sparks. A lot of people liked her. I hated her. Said something about fishing. She said, you'd never make it. You'll never make anything fishing or make a living fishing. And I told her, I said, I'll tell you what, why don't you bring in your W-2 and I'll show you my 1099s. So.
Well, I think you're showing a lot of people the freedom in being yourself, because dude, I don't know if, like, I think some people can act a part, but I don't know that you could, like, if you wanted to hide who you are, I don't think you'd be very successful doing it.
Yeah. No, it's not possible.
So what do you got planned for the rest of the day?
Honestly, it's cold as crap outside. About done drinking my coffee. Well, it's cold as crap by now, but through the straw. But yeah, I'm going to go outside and start loading the Suburban up, dude. Get the Plano totes with all my organized fishing stuff. And yeah, I'm going to load them in there. Got the Ugly Stick boat wrapped and ready. And I'm going to try to get on the road tomorrow. Don't know if the weather's going to let me. It's a lot of ice on the road, but I'm going to try to get on the road.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to Florida. I'm ready to go fishing. My boys are already down there sending me videos and stuff, messing with me. So, yeah.
Does that drive you crazy? Like, do you have that? What's that fear of missing out? Do you have that, like, when they're down there and you're just like, I'm still at home?
Not really. I'm usually the first one down there, but I know I'm ready. I'm ready to go now. Like, it's play time's over, party time's over. It's time to go fishing.
I'll remind you of that. I feel like at some point this season, I want to put my arm around you and be like, I thought playtime and party time was over, because.
Well, we still got 10% of playtime left on us. That's for the,
10%.
Yeah.
90% work.
That ratio might change a little bit in the next week or two, but yeah, we're starting with that. That's our goal.
Dude, you are, you're 100% yourself. A lot of people may not know how to take you, but dude, I don't need to say it, because I know people will say it in the comments here. The amount of people that you inspire and motivate to chase their dreams, is amazing. So, I mean, thank you for what you've brought to this industry.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Just keep your drawers on.
The pants are staying on. I'm sorry. I know the ladies are going to be disappointed. I'm sorry, but they are making me. Listen, if any of y'all ladies have a problem with me keeping my pants on, I need you to email Bass and tell them to allow it, and see if we can get that overturned.
You ever think of OnlyFans?
Buddy, I have 100% thought about OnlyFans. I'm going to tell you something right now. 100%, 1,000%. I could make so much money on OnlyFans.
So what has held you back?
I don't really know what I'm going to have a little talk with my sponsors, see what they got to say about it, actually.
Well, I mean, they have to pay the membership to see what you're doing on there anyway, so.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't indeed? The one and only Matt Robertson. Thank you, dude. Thank you for this conversation. And I look forward to hanging out with you and having a beer with you in just a few weeks.
It won't be long.
There you have it, Matt Robertson. And as you guys know, there's literally one rule on this show. I ask every guest the same thing. Just be open and honest, and let's have a real conversation. And it would have been really easy to have Matt on here and just let him loose. Tell a bunch of stories for an hour long. There'll be pure hilarity, and that's a side of him that we all love. But I wanted a real conversation, and I think we had a real conversation. And I think what I felt from the conversation is Matt's always going to be Matt, but I think you're seeing a human being evolve, an angler evolve. And I think going through strange things like underwear gate or not so tidy whitey gate, whatever you want to refer to it as, do I think he's learned? Yeah, I think he's learned. Do I think he'll change? No, I don't think Matt will change. I think that he may not do that again, but I think the Matt that so many people are gravitated to is exactly who he is. I mean, he's going to spend his entire life riding a tightrope, and he's going to stay on it a lot. But every once in a while, he's going to slip. And as he said, everybody makes mistakes. And he's going to have some tournament directors working hard. He's going to have some people stressed out. But he's also going to have a whole horde of people that are like, that's my guy. That's somebody I relate with. And I think that no matter what way you look at it, love him or hate him, Matt Robertson is good for our sport. Passion and excitement is good for our sport. And that's what I see. That's what I see when he crosses the stage. Not just passion and excitement from him, but passion and excitement from spectators, from media. He brings excitement. And ironically, it was one of the most chill conversations I've ever had with him. But I also think it was one of the most real conversations I've ever had with him. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. So go out there, have a good week, be who you are, enjoy being. And Bob Cobb, as always, take it away.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, because Bob Cobb of the Bassmasters told you to. You hear?